Hi everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be talking about the topic C examinations from a past s.e.a. student herself. Before we go into this video, you may be asking yourself, what is s.e.a? It stands for Secondary Entrance Assessment, and this is an assessment done at the end of the primary level education in order for, as a part of administering students into public secondary schools. This is the official exam that a student will have to take in their life, and I think that most student doesn't really know or have advice on how to tackle this exam, because this is one of the biggest exam that you could possibly have. It's going to determine where you're going to spend your next 5 years or 7 years if you decide to go to sixth form. The most heartbreaking part of this exam is when you realize that you haven't passed for your first choice or your school of choice. So we're going to be hearing from a student herself that went through the exam just last year when COVID just struck the world, and there were a bit of uncertainty due to when C exam is going to be, if they're still going to have the s.e.a. exam, etc. Please welcome my little sister, Anturiam.
Hi everyone, my name is Anturiam.
Okay, let's get into these questions. The first question I want to ask you is that we know that C exam is a long exam. You're preparing this for since you're in standard 1, or let's say first year, right? How do you prepare for C examinations?
Well, following up to the exam date, I think all the standard 5 really weren't certain when the SE will be held, so we all had to do continuous practice tests, and it was just a struggle. Really, everyone was kind of stressed, so I had to be looking back in my textbook, doing different practice tests from different brands, and I had to really be keeping up with the class, and I did online classes as well at my school every now and then. And it was really a struggle being in a new environment and having to learn different things in coming up to a big examination. So I had to really be pushing back and forth, trying to do my best and trying to go over my notes and everything like that from previous years.
Oh, okay. That's good to know. With the applied pressure of COVID on the exams and how you're doing the exams and stuff like that, I would like to know next, how did you cope with the pressure of doing the exams? Because I know sometimes even parents, they tend to pressure their students into doing good because they want them to pass their first choice, right? So how did you cope with the exam, basically?
Alright, so coping with the pressure of the examination, I really had to be confident. I had to believe in myself, because it was really something to really stress about, and I was really it was very anxious and anxiety. Although I had to not really show that fright, everyone was fearful. So we also had to pull through, and I think the parents have a big part to play in this as well. So parents, don't pressure your children into doing great. Instead, you should motivate them, and that will really assist them. So go through the practice test with them, ask them if they're okay, ask them how they're feeling, and I think that will really assist them in the examination.
That's powerful, right? You mentioned practice exams and stuff like that. What recommended study tips would you give to students who are about to sit a C exam very soon?
The tips I would give is to go through different practice tests. So go through all the different sections and pay close attention to it. Look at the different formatting, look at the structures. So if it's about numerals, if it's about patterns, go through each one, because you never know what they will bring on the s.e.a. So that's what I did. So I went through section 1 first, make sure I got it pat down, and then I went on to the other sections where I tried to ace each one. That's what I really did. I also went through all my textbooks, and I tried to complete everything. I tried to read different books so that I could find new words, and if I was to see something in the examination or in the practice test, then I will be able to identify it and know what it is.
Did you have any online sources that you used to do the exam or to help studying with the exam? Any online classes or online resources that you had?
Well, what I used pinnacle.com. I think it was really helpful because they had structured questions. It was a little different since it was online, So the timing and everything would be different, but came in really helpful. It was timed and even had prizes to give out if you did it quickly enough. So yeah, I think I used that.
Kind of cool that count. Okay.
Yeah.
I heard that nowadays they're doing this C exam that you have to have like an average score or something like that, right? Back then we just had to go into the exam and sit the exam basically, but I did the exam like a decade ago, so we're hearing something new now. So how would a student watching this right now increase their average score?
So first you have to say what is the student's average score. So the average score is the mathematics, for the percentage for the mathematics, the percentage for the English language and creative writing all combined to make that average score that they always get for each time they do a practice test or a mock test. So in order to actually beat that average score is to really be competitive with yourself, because yourself is really your biggest rival. So each time you do a practice test, always think of it as the s.e.a, as the examination. Be serious with it, and then you actually see you improving because you are your best competitor. So you have to always push yourself to the highest limits, really.
Okay, and does the average score help in the C examination or the outcome of the C exam, or it doesn't?
It actually does, because for my average score, I actually found that in the s.e.a it was quite similar to what I got doing the practice test at home or in school. So it really does show what you might actually get in the s.e.a if you do it well, sorry.
Okay, so on s.e.a day, the day of the big examination, right, what a student would expect on that day?
So you come to school, you're handing your slip, and everyone's there lined up, they're calling your name and they're assigning you to different seats. You have your student's number on the seats and you go to your assigned seats. Now it's actually quite scary when you first reach there, but when you sit down and you get comfortable and all your other friends are there, then it's actually quite fine, because between each test, so maths, English, they'll actually give you a break and you get to chat with your friends. One thing I recommend is to not say that I did good or I didn't do good, because if you did good and your friend didn't, you could have an effect on them and they could do horrible on the next test. So don't really share any of that information. So try to be more personal but also focus. So try to keep the conversations minimal, I believe. And really you just go through as a flow. When you're doing the exam, really when you're doing it, everything, all the negative thoughts, all the positive thoughts kind of races into your head, and you have to try to silence out those negative thoughts, because that can really affect you. Personally, when I was doing the exam, I was a bit anxious, but before every test I breathe, don't forget to pray, and that really helped me a lot.
Okay, that's good. That's really good to know. I'd like to ask you this: a student is about to go into the exam room, right, and they are nervous or anxious. What 3 words would you tell to the student before they go into the exam?
I think 3 words I would tell them is to persevere, so perseverance, be confident in yourself, believe in yourself. So I would say have confidence and to focus. So silence out everything in your background, focus on your paper. Because I know sometimes when you're doing the test, it can be really anxious and you find yourself focusing on different things. So just keep your eye on your paper and try to focus a lot, because that really helps.
Okay, thank you so much for being on my channel. I'll see you in the living room. So once again, I'd like to thank my little sister Anchiam for coming on my channel and talking a bit about C examinations, what to expect, give some advice. And I really hope that some student out there who are about to sit C examinations find some kind of comfort in this video, because I really wanted to help someone, help anyone actually. If I help one person, to feel a bit confident, to feel a bit, you know, focused, to feel a little bit less anxious about doing the s.e.a. exam, I have completed a goal. This year, 2021, the s.e.a. examination is scheduled for July the 1st, 2021. I know I'm a bit late, but better late than never, right? I hope that you guys are well off. I hope that you guys do well in your examinations. I hope that you remembered what you studied for the exam, and always remember to pray. Always remember that you got this. Okay, so if you like this video, please hit that subscribe button. Subscribe. It'll help me a lot, and you will be helping a little big boy's dream come true. If you'd like to follow me along my journey, follow me on all my social medias, which is just Anthony Goddard with the extra G after Goddard on Instagram and on Twitter. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next one.
Hey everyone, my name is Antirium.
Drova. That's like okay, great, good to know.